when it comes to pitching ideas for companies that have at least done some demonstration, what are the key takeaways we need to give them?
Okay, basically, you need to understand what.
In your opinion, how this is challenging and how can, let's say, a new person who want to dive into the industry continue to innovate and become better?
You just don't do it because it's what is the aim of it, what is the purpose, what do you want to achieve with that.
What advice would you give to other business looking to attract investors and finance their projects?
If your child approach you now and tell you that, daddy, give me a car, would you try to ask for investment at the onset whereby you are solar industry?
Can you tell us about the story about how you started Switchbox?
We started Switchbox. A few months down the line, we started having issues. How the journey started with us here.
Formation of Switchbox, how has it changed and adapted?
A lot of businesses in Nigeria, main point of concern is power. Because power, it's like...
What challenges do you see that will come up in the solar industry?
It's lack of knowledge and understanding of what needs to...
How do you differentiate yourself from other competitors?
You can achieve excellence without knowledge, dedication. We make our mistakes and we correct them over and over again so that we...
Some most common misconceptions that are in the solar industry.
Solar, just like any other power generation source, you cannot buy a small I pass my neighbor generator and expect it to power. It's a recipe for disaster, of course.
In this channel, I sit down with successful people from all kinds of fields and industry to bring you conversations that will inspire, educate, and empower. My goal is simple. Is to share ideas and stories that will help you grow and succeed. So please hit the subscribe button now and join me in this podcast series to learn from the best.
Can you tell us about the story about how you started Switchbox and what inspired you to focus on solar energy?
Okay, so we started Switchbox the year 2018, but the inspiration comes a little few years down below, before that. Now, I got married 2016, and I wanted an alternative source of power in my house. Now, that alternative source of energy, I deliberated on my own, think of what solutions to find. Then I said, okay, fine. This solar thing is here and there, and people are trying to come install it in their residences. I've seen it. I've been to places where it's installed. Let me also try it in my own home. So I contracted a guy, paid for the product. The product were installed. Few months down the line, we started having issues. Now, those issues developed my interest in trying to know what caused those issues, why those issues, and how can we tackle those issues. Now, that was the beginning of it. Now, as we're trying to solve those issues, I realized there's a knowledge gap. The guy was doing a bit of guesswork on my system. So we keep trying, changing and chopping changes, whereby to say, okay, we do this now, we try another one later till we got a hang of it. Now, that brings about my interest in trying to research what is this solar thing, solar inverter battery backup systems all about. Then I realized these things have gone way advanced across the globe. Some countries, businesses, and institutions are relying on solar for their daily power needs. So I was like, okay, why not us? Why not Nigeria? I realized in Nigeria, there's a bit of skepticism with regards to solar. There's a very few knowledge, there's a lot of knowledge gap in Nigeria with regards to solar and even availability of some of the products. Yeah. So now I went to see, okay, now how do I, before I venture into anything, I try to see how I can at least have a knowledge of it. Then I went into some trainings, locally and internationally. Locally, we did some trainings with GIZ and IFC, the IFC organ of World Bank, for some solar installation supervision, solar mini grid, and mini hydro, and that opened us our eyes to the practicability of solar in Nigeria, potential of solar in Nigeria, and now that is how the journey started with us here.
Yeah, very interesting. So the key takeaway here is that you identified a problem through your own personal experience and you turned it into a business.
Yeah.
So now I want to talk about the core mission of Switchbox. How has it changed and adapted from the beginning?
Okay, our mission, as we was put it on every of our documents, is a comforting life and enabling business. Comforting lives whereby for the main aim of every house owner is to to get reliable energy at the comfort of his home by with spending less amount of money and having a reliable system that gives him power 24/7. Now, this is what we aim to do at Switchbox. This is what we have been doing to our clients over these years at Switchbox. Now, a lot of businesses in Nigeria, main point of concern is power, because power, it's like food. You consume it every day and all the time. Now, the cost of power is crippling our businesses or hindering the growth of other businesses.
I enjoyed this conversation. If you're finding it helpful, please don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment on the next guest you want to see in this podcast series, and share it to someone who might benefit from it. Now, let's get back to the conversation.
So with that, we realize, okay, now if we can provide solutions to these businesses with an reliable source of power that enables their businesses to grow higher and higher.
All right. So as solar is trying to become more popular in Nigeria, what challenges do you see that will come up in the solar industry in the next few years?
Okay, solar have become popular in Nigeria, but the challenge in the future for upcoming or now or later in the future will be, one, in trying to find more centers that can train our teaming youth on the application of solar, not just maybe solar for home or solar, but across the value chain of solar, because there's solar for agriculture, solar for healthcare, all these other sectors that solar can apply to. People need to be trained on them, so firstly. Secondly, solar funding. Now, and how to fund solar in a way that businesses and individuals can afford it. Now, these are some of the challenges we see in the future, that if Nigeria is to adopt solar and for solar penetration to be high in Nigeria, this is part of the issues that should be tackled.
So how do you differentiate yourself from other competitors?
Now, in Switchbox, what we're trying to do is, whatever we do, we try to strive for excellence. Excellence, you can't achieve excellence without knowledge, dedication, and experience. Now, knowledge allows you to know what you need to do, how you need to do it, and when you need to do it. Dedication is your determination to see this thing succeeded. And with experience, as with every other businesses, we make our mistakes and we correct them over and over again, so that we to achieve near perfection of whatever installation or whatever service we are providing to our clients.
Right. Excellent. You want to differentiate from others, you keep getting better, training your staffs and advancing. So what are some most common misconceptions that are in the solar industry? Okay, so misconception in solar industries, in Switchbox we call them solar myths. Now, the myths are basically, people ask, can solar power this for me? Can solar power my AC? Or even when we tell people, okay, why not you put your AC on this? No, I don't want to put AC. I don't want it to break it down. Now, we tell people, no, it won't break down. Solar, just like any other power generation source, is based on the size you installed. Okay. You cannot buy a small I pass my neighbor generator and expect it to power all your house ACs, all your fridge freezers, and all your washing machines and the rest of them. But if you get a bigger generator of a bigger size, it will do that effectively. So also with solar, depends on the size of the system you installed. That's what determines what it can power for you. Solar is powering, as we just recently as a company completed a 250 kilowatt system for an industry in Lagos, and it's powering all their machineries, all their offices, all their buildings, all their other pumping water pumping systems and the rest of it. So solar can do a lot more, but it just depends on what you decide to invest in. Okay, very interesting. So now let's dive into business growth and advice. So what advice would you give to other business looking to attract investors and finance their projects?
Okay, business growth and financing. That's with businesses, the business thing is just like a child upbringing. Yeah. Business at the early stage, you don't expect, if your child approach you now and tell you that, daddy, give me a car. Would you? You'll be skeptical. Even if you're crazy enough to give that boy a car, you'll be skeptical. But that boy will reach an age whereby, if he asks for that car, you know that he's sane enough and capable enough to manage that car. So also businesses, you don't, there are a lot of mistakes that we see, sometimes I personally see or think is hindering funding, securing investment for a lot of my core young entrepreneurs, is you try to ask for investment at the onset whereby you have not done anything. You just have an idea on paper or idea on your laptop and you want somebody to just put in millions and millions of naira to that. Hardly that is done anywhere. So my advice is put a bit of work, let that build over time, and make your own mistakes and make your own achievements. Then when you make something and approach anybody with this, okay, sir, this is what I have been able to do over this time with this amount. If you can give me, if I can secure this funding, I can be able to scale to this level. Exactly. Someone can see that where it started, where it's going, and what it can achieve with more hands on board.
So investors like to see like a more of a demonstration, like an experience of 1 year or two in your business to make them comfortably invest.
Yeah.
Not just a proposal on paper that's never been done, just imagination.
Sure.
Right. So when it comes to pitching ideas for companies that have at least done some demonstration, what are the key takeaways we will give them?
Investing in ideas for companies that have already started. Yeah. Okay, basically you need to understand what market are you catering for? What are your current customers? What are your prospective customers? And which direction do you hope to see this company in the next few years? That shapes your decisions now. Because that vision is what you will be working towards.
Yeah.
So with that vision, then whoever is coming on board will see a clear vision of what this needs to be done or what is being done currently and where are you heading to. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think
so investors like to see like a step-by-step guide on your strategy and where you're trying to take your company from A to Z.
True.
So as definitely when you go to raise investment, there are two options available. Usually it's equity or debt. What's your take on that?
I'm more of at the start. Because equity is a marriage. Yeah. Once you bring somebody on board into your company, then you're no more at liberty to say go away anytime. Yeah. Then the ball is in his own court to either continue with sell back his equity to you or continue. While debt, with hard work, you can pay off debt and you continue running. Okay. It's not like I'm not advocating for just one-man business, but what I'm saying is at the early onset, have a clear understanding of where you're going. Who do you need for this journey? Not just because you want money and you just sell equity and just somebody bring on board, somebody doesn't even share the vision or understanding of where you want to go. Yeah. Then now this is a recipe for future conflicts. Yeah. But when you have made some little progress and you bring somebody on board that understands and appreciates the journey and wants to be part of that journey, then at least that is a lot more easier to deal with.
Yeah, exactly. As it's more of a long-term decision when it comes to equity. So I think you're trying to say that you need more time to decide and choose the right person, to not just randomly bringing somebody on board. Yeah. Then so now the other one is the board of directors, which is different from investors. How would you say one should create this board? Okay, this is not solar. This is not my main forte, but just personal opinion. Yeah. I feel anybody you're bringing on board as part of your board should be someone that should add value. Add value in the sense of experience, add value in the sense of contacts, add value in the sense of driving the company forward. When you just bring people on board just because you need to fill up slots, then for what is the aim of it? What is the purpose? What do you want to achieve with that? Yeah. So, but when you, because you can buy expertise to a certain level, but you can't buy experience. Absolutely. You can't buy contacts. The network of a person can be a valuable asset to your company. So these are kind of things or factors to consider when you're adding someone to your board to see, okay, how can that person impact the journey that the company is currently on. All right. So expertise and networks are like one of the key aspects that someone should look for when choosing a board. Yeah. Okay. So in your opinion, how do you see this strategy and how can, let's say, a new person who wants to dive into the industry continue to innovate and become better?
The solar industry?
Yeah.
Okay, now, first, as I started earlier, is knowledge, not just solar, but anything, any other endeavor. Be knowledgeable about what you do. You just don't do it because it's trendy and because everybody is doing it, so you just want to jump on it. Be knowledgeable because solar, as an energy generation source, is electricity. At the tail end of all these things is electricity. Electricity is a beautiful but also a dangerous thing to play with. Where you see a lot of failed projects, you see people sending. I've seen people send me a few months ago. There was this fire on the roof. People were saying that you shouldn't install solar on your roof, and a lot of people. That is lack of knowledge and understanding of what needs to be done. So now it's a beautiful but also technical thing. It's just like having you're trying to build your house, a 3-story, 5-story building. Then you decide not to employ an engineer. You say there is a foreman that the foreman knows how to do it now. He will do it for me.
It's cheaper.
It's cheaper.
That's what they say.
Yeah. It's a recipe for disaster, of course.
Yeah.
So now, for anybody who wants to move into the industry, should first try to equip him or herself with the right amount of knowledge to know what needs to be done and how it's done. Secondly, is perseverance. Nothing happens overnight. You need to put in the hard work, try to understand the market space, because having the engineering knowledge is one thing, running it as a business is another. That's what the Zuckerbergs and the Steve Jobs have perfected over time, that give them a lot of success. Yeah. So now you can be the best engineer that you can be, but if you're not crafty as a businessman, you can only go to a certain level.